No KKK, no racist USA. No cops, no KKK, no racist USA.
On Sunday, June 28, 2020, St. Paul Almanac's Storymobile was downtown Minneapolis for Take Back Pride, a rally for justice for George Floyd and to defend Black trans folks. Thousands of people gathered to march through the streets of downtown Minneapolis to Loring Park to demand justice for all victims who were murdered by the police. Storymobile was there to ask our community what justice means to them.
Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot.
What's your name?
Elijah.
Elijah?
Deshaun.
Yep. And what brought you out here today?
Being a black trans man.
Supporting my sisters and my brothers.
Right. So one of the things we're marching for today is justice. What is that? What does justice look like for you?
To me, justice means equality. It means standing up for all lives that do in fact matter, whether they are black, white, anything in between. But right now we are talking about black lives. So standing up for black lives, whether they be black and gay, black and trans, black and straight, whatever that may be.
Justice for me means to end racism and really for everybody to become one. So that's a big thing for me.
Do you have any actionable steps that people can take to see justice happen?
Speak up. Silence is violence, in my opinion. And if you are comfortable and able to sit silently, then you are part of the problem.
Every day you look in the mirror when you brush your teeth, look at everybody else and look at yourself as them and think of what you would do for those others that have suffered from injustice and look at that as yourself, and that should motivate you.
I think it's 50 years ago Stonewall riots happened. What if you could imagine 50 years into the future, what would that look like, your ideal world?
Hopefully not this. I just hope we're in a place where everybody can be who they are and there's really no hate or discrimination.
I would hope that there's no such thing as a minority, but I do know statistically in 30 years, white people will be the minority. So I would hope that we can all come together before that changes and people don't abuse the power that we have. We're not lawyers, politicians, we're not any of that, but we're here in the streets on the front lines, and these voices are what should matter, and I would hope that is what changes.
Listen, hear what we're saying. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Great.
And be prepared to feel a little bit uneasy about what's going on, but it needs to be that way until things can get changed and things can be right.
And with that, you create a new normal.
My name's Sam. I'm a member of the Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. We were the lead organizers for this march today, Taking Back Pride, and this will be our 4th year doing it. We've been around since Jamar Clark was killed by the Minneapolis Police Department in North Minneapolis November 15, 2015. And so we've been organizing around stopping police terror, in particular in Minneapolis, but we've been involved with pretty much any major police killing, and sometimes even a lot of the minor ones, actually, because sometimes they go more under the radar in the Twin Cities. And sometimes we do the suburbs, we get out to the suburbs, and sometimes even greater Minnesota if people really need help. We're working for community control of the police because we got to stop police terror in our communities, and we know that's the way forward. And so we put in legislation to the city council right now. And so we're trying to move that forward, but we know it's going to take people power. So basically, there'll be a door knocking campaign, city charter. We'll have to amend that, and so that'll take a legal petition campaign. So it's called CPAC, which stands for Civilian Police Accountability Council. It would be an all-elected, all-civilian, no conflict of interest board. Basically, we have a representative. Some of the precincts only have one representative, and some of the other precincts have more representatives because we kind of looked at population, but also where is the most police crimes happening, and where are people disproportionately being killed, especially. And so right now that legislation would kind of amend the city charter for Minneapolis, And basically it would be like much like a school board or a park board that's in control of the policing. So hiring and firing, budgeting, the rule book, basically what is legal or not legal, investigations. And really what we want to do is we want to stop police crimes before they happen, because we are tired of chasing basically ambulances. This needs to stop. Like the murder of George Floyd could have been stopped years ago. And like it's been negligence by mayors, city council members, the police chiefs, like years upon years of negligence in policing, and we can stop it. And we have the power. We've seen that in the past month, that the people do have the power. It's a matter of them seizing that power, and that's what community control is about. It's about democracy. It's about giving people self-determination, putting power back into the hands, especially of Black folks, over their lives, and making this whole system a little bit more equitable and a little bit more fair. But in order to do that, we need real democracy via community control of the police. TCC4J.net is our website. The legislation is on there, especially if you live in Minneapolis. But even if you don't live in Minneapolis and you kind of just want to figure out what's going on, you can find it there. Also, our Facebook page at the letters TCC and the number 4 and then J. Also, you can find us at JusticeForGeorgeFloyd@gmail.com. We have meetings weekly on Tuesdays, and so, yeah, we're out here. We're out here all the time. We haven't stopped, especially not in the past month, like almost every day, or being at an action or helping with the action. We aren't going anywhere.
Fuck 12! Fuck 12! Prosecute the police! Fuck 12!
Justice, no peace.
Fuck 12! Prosecute the police! No justice, no peace! Prosecute the police! Louder!
My name is Desmond, and justice look like to me just accountability, responsibility, action, forwardness, taking some steps back, just reevaluating self. I mean, foremost, think about self and just what's the righteous move, what's something that would help, just be supportive and just help others. Just be kind to others. I mean, that's all I can do.
So what would you need in order to have your ideal world? What kind of help, what kind of resources would you think could move that forward?
I think just other people. I mean, resources. I mean, just taking care of everything, taking care of like the lands, the farms, sanitation, taking care of like, other people, just helping yourself. I mean, actually honoring the help that you can get.
Is there anything you want to tell people about yourself that you haven't said already, or about how advice to move forward?
I just think that everybody should move forwardness and self-evaluation, evaluating yourself and just seeing what deep is in your heart, what meaning it has for you. Taking care of yourself, just in every way. I mean, it goes to mentality, all of that stuff.
What do you do to take care of yourself?
I just wake up every day, think about things I need to get done, think about things I don't want to be done, and just, that's how I move.
What is your name?
Deborah.
And what brought you out here today?
Today it's about equal rights for everybody. It doesn't matter what their skin color is. It doesn't matter what they do at night or with who, as long as it's legal. It doesn't matter. And my grandchildren need a better place to grow up. They don't need to be doing this when they're my age.
Have you been to rallies and protests before? Or?
We have since George Floyd. We went down one time to help with a cleanup. My daughter and my granddaughter went to the Breonna Taylor one on Friday, and we went to the one in Golden Valley. Out of my comfort zone, but it's important. Sitting on the sidelines is not going to make anything happen.
Project into the future 50 years, what would your ideal world be like?
That we would never have to have a rally to be make people aware that we can celebrate that Stonewall happened to make the change. Just like working women's rights. That's what was a big deal when I'm still working, but as I was getting, into the corporate world, women were not treated well, and that was kind of like my fight, but now this fight is more important.
So what brought you out here today?
Just that we want to see change, so we should be out here participating and showing the support for people who don't have the same privileges and rights and opportunities that me as a straight white woman have.
If you could imagine your ideal world 5 years from now,
Yeah.
what would that look like?
Where black people, people of color, people who identify not in this box that society has, who identify outside of that, are free to be who they want, free to sleep in their own bed and not worry about the cops coming in, free to walk the street and not fear retaliation for being who they are.
And I see you brought your kids here today.
Yes. He is 15 months and she is 3, and I have my nephew who is 5, and my 2 are native black and white. So I feel a strong passion to make sure that as they grow up, they know they should stand up for what they believe in, and that no matter what anybody says, they can do whatever they put their mind to.
My name is DJ Hooker. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm and I help organize part of the event. I've been part of the Take Pride Back celebration for the last 2 years. So just saying that we need to make sure that we get the cops out of Pride and we focus on, putting black trans lives and queer people of color at the forefront. Justice looks like community control of the police, and that's what we're asking for, so we can have self-determination and choose how our neighborhoods are going to look and make sure that people feel safe in their neighborhoods. A future where people feel comfortable being themselves, a future where people have representation of themselves in the media, a future where people don't feel like they need to take their lives because they don't fit in, a future where, queer youth are treated the same as everybody else, a future where I can just have a conversation and talk about a date and not realize it's taboo to be queer because I'm oh no, it's a guy, and then have someone go, oh really, are you gay or something? They're I didn't know that, or it wasn't even a negative thing, it's just the fact that it was just a reminder that it was different. I think we need to continue to diversify our media and the people's opinions that we value. I think we also need to do things like community control of the police to make everybody overall feel safer. So I also think we should destroy the capitalist system. I think that'll make a lot of things easier.
Well, my name is Kimmy Hull, and I own Security, which is a queer POC female-owned security company. We came about mainly to be sure that we could give our community safe people to go to that they don't have to feel intimidated by, or feel like they're going to get judged or treated with any kind of discrimination, racism, all that kind of stuff, And plus, we specialize in de-escalation. Plus, it's nice to be back in Loring Park during Pride weekend at a protest rather than a corporate Pride event. So yeah, this is, and so many people are all about it too. It's great. Yeah, it's really good energy, really good people, really good messages.
So, are you guys for hire, or how do people find you if they want security?
Yeah, we are for hire. Usually we've been hired through Flip Phone will hire us for their main events. I've worked for Red Bull before for some of their events here. We've done the Girl Scout. That's pretty much one of our home events that we always do. In light of everything that's been happening in the last few weeks, I've reached out to a lot of community leaders to let them know that, hey, we're willing to do more. Yeah.
And I see you guys all have like walkie-talkie systems, so you're able to communicate with each other, and obviously like you're trained in de-escalation techniques, so there's no need for like weapons or anything like that.
No, I mean, especially my belief is that when you're coming here for an event like this, weapons are probably one of the last things that anybody here needs to see, and that's what's so really nice about de-escalation, is that de-escalation is not a hard thing to do. You just, the biggest trick is you just keep calm, because 9 times out of 10, if there's a problem, usually somebody needs to vent, and that's the approach we take, like with everybody out here and stuff, is if there's an issue or something, talk to us. Let's find a solution. Let's make this work. Granted, there are some situations where there's zero tolerance. If somebody's out here being abusive, somebody's being threatening, you're going to go. We'll be nice about it, but you're still going to go. And I think that's what a lot of people in our community are looking for, is you don't have to be aggressive or violent to work with a community to make things better, to lessen harms.
Say her name. Ryan Milton. It's important to us to say every single one of those names. Every single one of those names represents a person. That is a life that you stole.
My name is Jay. I am here as an organizer for this event for TCC4J. I really just joined the organization, but yeah, that's why I'm here. I am a Black trans person, so I wanted to try to be up front for this.
Yeah, I saw you at the parade. You were the main person speaking on the megaphone and the microphone.
Yeah.
But you said you just got involved, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually heard about this through the Facebook event, and they were like, we need more Black trans people to step up, and I'm out of school, unemployed, and so I was like, hell yeah.
Do you have previous experience in protests or rallies? Because you seemed very comfortable up there.
I was actually super nervous, but I have been to a lot of protests. I went to a lot of the Philando Castile protests when those were happening. I think that college took up a lot of my time, and so I wasn't as involved as I felt like I should be. And this sort of conversion of like factors really made me feel like I should, just do it, I think that justice looks like a lot of things. I think that justice looks like not having, people ferried into prisons. I think that justice looks like a community that is allowed to protect itself. I think that justice looks like police not being able to commit crimes with impunity. Like, they are committing crimes. It's not like they're like doing accidental little mistakes. They're committing murder. And I think that them being held accountable for that, losing their jobs, the dissolution of the police department, that would be justice. My ideal future in 50 years from now. That's so hard, because I think it's really easy when you are sort of like aware of everything that's going on. I mean, like, there's so many interlocking issues with racial justice. There's the environmental justice piece, there's environmental racism, there's capitalism, there's corporate greed. So it's like, it does get hard, I think, as an organizer, to really actually think about, the future, as opposed to having this sort of like fatalistic, we're all gonna burn up in the sun in like 50 years. I think that all of that is 100% avoidable. We just have to actually commit to taking action and to actually, doing what will make us heard. The protests, the riots, as they're called, like, those are effective. Like, that worked. Capitalists only really care when you touch their money. And so I think that as long as we keep doing that, there's definitely hope for a better future.
Are there any other actionable steps that you can think of that move us in the direction of justice?
Yeah, redistribution of wealth, for sure. I think that the fact that there are billionaires while people starve and while people live on the street, while Powderhorn Park is full of homeless folks right now, I think that that's evil. And I think that the sooner that we can seize that wealth that's ill-gotten and redistribute it to the people it was stolen from through wage theft, through incarceration, that's when I think that we can really start to do things. And I think that rich white people really need to step up. Like, you need to give organizers your cash money, you know? Like organizing takes money. I work with the MCAD distribution site, and we're working on trying to collect funds so that we can buy the supplies that we need to distribute to people that need them. And, you know, sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Like, rich people they hate giving you their money. They love to, like, donate to these big, you know, nonprofits whose hands are tied. They can't really do anything to get that money back into the community, but they love donating to that, but are so reluctant to give money to people on the ground. So yeah, money is the short answer. Yeah, I'm just a dude out here. Like, I'm pretty regular, but I think that, you know, our Black trans voices really need to be highlighted. We've been sidelined for a really long time in discussions about racism and how it affects us differently as people who are also dealing with transphobia and homophobia from our Black community. And yeah, it's really important to have that conversation and have those voices brought to the forefront.